On the defensive end, nobody will mistake Luka Doncic for Gary Payton or peak Kawhi Leonard, but at least one scout believes he's historically poor. On the Low Post podcast, ESPN's Tim McMahon reported a scout called Doncic the worst transition defender in basketball history. Let's get to the bottom of it. Luka Doncic is a Slovenian professional basketball player for the Dallas Mavericks of the National Basketball Association. He was born on February 28, 1999. He also represents Slovenia in international competition and is recognized as one of the finest European players of all time. Doncic, who was born in Ljubljana, started as a youth player for Union Olimpija before joining Real Madrid's training system. At the age of 16, he made his senior squad debut for the academy in 2015, becoming the club's youngest player ever. He guided Real Madrid to the 2018 EuroLeague title, evening earning EuroLeague MVP and Final Four MVP honors. Doncic was voted the ACB Most Valuable Player and earned the EuroLeague Rising Star and ACB Best Young Player trophies back-to-back. He was also named to the EuroLeague 2010 to 2020 All-Decade team. Doncic declared for the NBA draft in 2018 and was picked by the Atlanta Hawks before being traded to the Dallas Mavericks. He was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team unanimously and was named Rookie of the Year for the 2018 to 2019 season. During the next 4 seasons, he was named to the NBA All-Star Game and the All-NBA First Team. He has the most career triple-doubles for the Mavericks. Doncic earned his senior debut for Slovenia at the age of 17 in 2016. In 2017, he helped his country win its first Eurobasket title and was nominated to the All-Tournament team. Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks has been outstanding in NBA playoffs. However, his defense has been woefully inadequate, and TV star Stephen A. Smith has urged the Slovenian to make some modifications. Because of his defensive shortcomings, the Phoenix Suns were successful in targeting Doncic in Game 2 of the Western Conference semifinals. They were able to increase their 6-point lead to more than 20 points late in the game, winning 129 to 109. If things continue in this fashion, the Mavericks will have little chance of a comeback, despite Luka's offensive brilliance. The Mavericks are currently trailing 2-0, and Doncic will need to do much more than score to get them out of this hole. Game 3 is scheduled for a Friday night. Smith sent Doncic a message with suggestions for improvement. On ESPN's Stephen A's World, the commentator acknowledged the importance of surrounding Doncic with skill, but he believes the All-Star God should take better care of his health. Luka is a wizard on offense, and then his defense stinks. He remarked, "It's horrible. Nobody can deny that the Mavericks are still in desperate need of supporting cast for their franchise star. They require another star to relieve some of Luka's burden. Luka, on the other hand, can practically lighten his load by dropping some weight. After Game 2, Luka should be deep in thought about what he needs to do to improve his defensive game because Phoenix was picking on him. They were almost bullying him. The Mavericks must surround Luka Doncic with more talent. Everyone is aware of this, but Luka must also do his share. His defense simply needs to improve. He's a poor man on offense, but he's just bad on defense, man. In the league, there aren't many excellent two-way players. Doncic, on the other hand, can be a threat on both ends due to his stature and physique. To do so, he must move faster and successfully stay ahead of his opponent. Can Luka Doncic lead the Dallas Mavericks to a comeback victory over the Phoenix Suns? After ending regular season with the greatest record in the NBA, 64-18, the Suns are the top seed in the Western Conference. That is why it's impossible to envision them surrendering a 2-0 series advantage. However, after winning 4 straight games against Phoenix in the 2021 NBA Finals, the Milwaukee Bucks demonstrated that it is feasible. The Mavericks won the first 3 games of their first round series against the Utah Jazz without Doncic, moving up 2-1. If the Mavericks are to remain in the series, their supporting cast must repeat such performances. With Luka Doncic being just as lethal offensively, the Mavericks have a chance to pull off a massive shock. Doncic has already demonstrated his offensive abilities, scoring 40.0 points, 8.5 rebounds and 7.5 assists per game. Sixth man, Maxi Kleber, leads the squad in scoring with 14.0 points per game. Doncic's temperament is determined by if it influences his play numerous times per game, particularly multiple possessions in a succession. Recently, it has. He actively sought out the technical foul he received against the Indiana Pacers. Doncic had survived one ranting match with a game official before seeking out another to berate, effectively forcing the whistle against him. If Doncic receives 2 more technical fouls this season, he will be suspended for 1 game. These issues are hurting his defensive effort numerous times every game, and possibly even his shot selection on occasion. The problems arise not only with Doncic's transition defense, but also in situations like this, where he fails to box out his man on a rebound attempt. Doncic's rage may be justified. Throughout the games, he seeks out and maintains a lot of physical contact, some of which is obviously not called a foul. But such is the life of an NBA player. Worse, his annoyance with officials leads to a string of negative outcomes for his team. Botched box outs, 4-on-5 defensive possession, and rushed step back 3-second and more. For all of the advantage Doncic creates through his undeniable talent, he gives up far too many of them through needless on-court behavior. "I'm not a savior here," Jason Kidd said in full. "I'm not taking part. I'm keeping an eye on everything just like you. We need to mature as a team. We have a lot of new bodies returning, and we need to mature if we want to win a title. There has never been a youthful squad that has won a championship, intellectually or physically." There are a few items here. First, after more than a decade of listening to news conferences and statements from athletes, I've grown accustomed to attempting to understand them. Kidd's statement that he is watching just like you guys was a self-inflicted blunder. It's a horrible sequence of words, and it does reflect his long-standing refusal to accept responsibility. But we've all said word combinations that aren't quite right. As we have already demonstrated, the second portion of his quote is valid in terms of Doncic. The comment helped me understand that Kidd's inclination to describe the squad as young last season, despite the fact that the role players are not, refers to mentality rather than age. It's true that this club had not done much together, especially before last season's conference finals run. It's even more true that every squad emulates its captain, which is Doncic, whose mentality I believe Kidd was largely referring to. Kidd most likely meant that he couldn't change Doncic's mindset in a single timeout with strategic modifications. Even a sympathetic interpretation of that exact phrase does not free Kidd of responsibility. While the timeout is only 90 seconds long, he spends hundreds of hours with Doncic outside of games. Kidd, more than anybody else in this organization, is responsible for getting most out of his superstar point guard, and he isn't doing so right now. After Doncic received a technical foul late in the second quarter against Indiana, I wondered if Kidd would dare to bench him even for a possession or two. I'm not sure if that would work. It's just that other strategies haven't worked thus far. In an interview with media following the game, Luka was asked about striking a balance between personal accomplishment and defeating a great team like the Warriors. The 23-year-old is well aware that he still has plenty to learn. "If I knew that, I would have been executed," Doncic stated after the game. "I mean, that's a difficult question. As I already stated, I'm still learning. I felt like I performed poorly in the first 2 quarters. That is entirely my fault. However, I'm still learning. I believe that after this season, whatever we are, we will look back and learn a lot of things. It's my first time in the NBA Conference Finals, so I'm 23, man. I'm still discovering new things." As the underdog, you have to respect your opponent, which Doncic has enough for the Warriors. "I think the Warriors are playing incredible," Doncic continued. "Everyone understands their duty. Everyone simply remains together. They have been together for a long time, and I think they are playing fantastic basketball. So that's what I think will be extremely challenging. And it's been really difficult these last 3 games. We appreciate your watching this video. We sincerely hope you found it educational and useful. Please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. In order to ensure that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell button.